Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing my favorite Morphe brushes of 2019. I can also do a favorites affordable in general, but I figured since I have so much of Morphe, I would just do Morphe. So if you want to see what those brushes are, then just keep watching. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. I figured since I'm doing a Morphe brushes collection, I should put a Morphe lip on. So this lip, if you are curious, is Morphe liquid lipstick in the shade Virgin. So I have a lot of Morphe brushes. I bought like collections and stuff, and they are actually what I mostly use. I have some others that are thrown in here and there, but the majority is Morphe. So let's just start with face brushes. So my absolute favorite brush is this bad boy. This is the Morphe E41 brush. It's just a huge fluffy brush. I use this to powder my face with translucent powder. I'm gonna try to link everything down below just so it makes it easier if you are purchasing it online, as long as I can find it. I'm assuming all of these are still for sale, but I haven't bought any new brushes for probably a year. I'll link all those if I can find them. I don't have an affiliation. There's no money. It's just links. So there's that brush. Moving on. I use this brush, oh my god, every day. I mean, I use the other brush every day. I use pretty much all of these almost daily. So this is the Morphe M510. This is the brush I use to highlight. I have another one I use, which is Morphe E something one. It rubbed off. But this brush more like kind of disperses a small amount if you want not a lot, but this is intense. I like that brush better. Okay, moving on. This is the brush I like to use for blush. For me, I don't like to use a lot, so this is pretty fluffy. You could probably actually use this for a contour. It probably would be nice for that. This is a Morphe M530 brush. I don't know what to say other than I like them. Okay, speaking of contour, I don't contour very often, but if I do, this is the brush I like to use. It's the Morphe R10, so it's in their rose gold collection. Just looks like this. I really do like this brush. It gets right in there. So this is, for me, is a really nice brush for that. But like I said, I rarely do it, but if I do, that's what I'm going for. Okay, so bronzer brush. My bronzer, I actually don't use Morphe for. However, they have one that's similar to it. It's just been very dirty for a very long time, so I don't touch it. So this is actually the brush I use all the time, which is a Real Techniques, and you can't get it anymore. But it's this kind of shape that I like. So this is pretty similar to the shape. This is just a little bit bigger. But this is the Morphe R2, so once again the rose gold collection. This is what I was using before I found this one, and before I got it really dirty that I just was too lazy to clean. So this is actually a really good brush for bronzing as well. Sometimes I'll go in with a smaller brush. Scratch that, it's not Morphe. So other than that, I do really like this brush for doing bronzer, but because I'm so lazy and I don't clean it, I hardly use it. Just being honest. Okay, two more face brushes. So this is a foundation brush. This is the Morphe M439. I actually don't really use it for foundation for my face, but this is the brush I'm constantly using to blend out my neck foundation. I don't know why I don't ever use it for the face. Maybe because I just use it so much on the neck that it's just kind of caked. I should clean that one too. But this is my favorite brush for doing that. Last, face brush. So this is the Morphe, why do I keep saying Morphe? It's a habit, okay? It's the M438 brush, and this is what it looks like. It's just a small tulip. This is what I like to use to put powder under my eyes. I don't know why I'm doing it now. Dude, I look a mess. This makeup's been on for a while. But this is my favorite brush for under the eyes. I've noticed that I like a smaller, thin brush to get under here, rather than I used to use something like this, which is still really nice. They're both still pretty small, but this one just gets under there a lot easier. Okay, let's move on to the eyes now. So let me kind of categorize these. Hold on. let's start with the ones that I feel like we use all the time but are also kind of basic. So our blender brushes. So these are the brushes I like. I will tell you, let me find one. I've had some brushes for a while, and some I've only had for maybe, I've had them for like 2 years. And I don't know if you can see, it's not gonna focus on it. They get pretty bad, like pretty easily worn out and like disappear. They come apart. Let me find another one. So I have, oh my gosh. One of my favorite blending brushes is the small one. So this is a Morphe, God, stop saying it, M506. And this is my favorite for blending out down here, or if I'm trying to just do really small defined work because it's really tiny but still fluffy. So you're not gonna be able to tell since my fucking camera will only focus on my face. But you can see how much bigger this one, the black handle one is, than this one. Yet they're the same. So I've had this for probably, I want to say maybe a year. And this one I just bought, and I've not just bought, I bought maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago, but I haven't used it as often. And you can see how easily it loses its shape. I mean, it's still there, but you know, they're affordable for a reason. So I would just keep that in mind. I will say I have had a lot of these for probably at least almost 2 years. At least a year. We'll say maybe a year and a half. And they're still holding up pretty good. I've only had one brush ever fully break and like come apart from here. And I've had a couple of other that are loose. I think the one that fully broke is the gunmetal collection, so maybe avoid that collection. I don't know. So this is my favorite small brush, small blending brush. Let's kind of go smaller. Let's do it in that order. So if we're going a little higher, the next one I like is the M573. That is this brush. It's just very fluffy yet pointy, like it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's got a pointed tip to it, but it's still a fluffy blending brush. So it really helps, once again, getting in here with like a more defined color. Like if you're wanting to really deepen the crease and not want it to go everywhere, this is the brush that I like to use. And then going from that, there is the M433, which is, I kind of use for the same concept. However, this one is more, it's pinched sideways, vertically. I don't know how to explain it. Whereas, where'd that one go? This one, there's not really anything that's pinching it. It's just a oval or a circle, whatever you want to call it. Whereas this one, it does have a pinch here at the end, which then just makes them kind of gather like this. So that makes it easier for like getting right here, because when you have one that's round, it's just going in that whole area. Whereas this, because of how it's pinched, helps it stay right in that crease area. So I like that one. These next two, there's not really anything much different from them that I can see, so I kind of interchange them the same way. It is the M573 and the M513. I don't really notice too much of a difference. I guess the 13 has a slightly smaller base to it. Other than that, they're just really nice fluffy brushes for me, but just a hair smaller than these brushes that I like. So these brushes are the next ones. So this one is an M505 and this one is an M504. And I feel like they're pretty much the same brush, but the M504 is bigger. It's got more hairs and it's thicker at the base. And so both of them are, like I said, really fluffy, nice brushes. Just the bigger one is obviously going to cover more surface area, so this would be more of like my first transition shades, and then this one would be as I'm going down in shades and getting smaller, more close-knit, whatever. So those are all the blending brushes I like. Let's go on to, oh, one more blender brush, sorry. This is the Morphe, stop saying it. This is the E36. It's just it's a blender brush, but at the same time it's a lot more stiff than the other ones. It's just really tiny little baby, and I like that for getting a darker pigment like right along the line. And then I'll use that smaller brush, and I lost it already. Oh, here it is. That this one, the M506. So I normally use this first right along the line and then take this to buff out another color with. Next are more like definer brushes. So I have two actual definer brushes. This is the E43 and the... Sorry, my camera died without me knowing. That's the M432. So if I want to make something thin, like some line somewhere really thin, I'll use the E43 brush. But then if I want something thin, because it's still a definer, but a little thicker, I use the M432 one. 432 brush, not 4321. Okay, and then for eyeliner, I rarely use a pot eyeliner anymore, but when I do and when I did, this is the brush that I use. This is the M160-1/6. That's a weird, but it's just this really tiny, thin, angled liner brush. This is awesome. We are down to the last three brushes, and these are my favorite eyeshadow brushes. So they're all different sizes, and so I like them for different reasons. So these two are the ones that I mostly use on my eyes. And so this one, they're both pretty much the same in thickness on the sides, but this one is longer and this one is just shorter. So the longer one is the M124, and then the thicker or the shorter one is M421. So these I really like. They're both, like I said, fairly thin, and so they pack on product really nicely. And then the last brush, I like to use this when I want something really defined or I want an inner corner or an eyebrow because this is so thin. So this is the M213, and this thing is tiny. Like, let me put it next to, like, look at that. It's so tiny. So I use this, like I said, when I want something really defined, or it's also still really good for an inner corner or your brow bone. So yeah, that is all my Morphe brushes. Like I said, if you want me to do a video just on my affordable brushes in general, then just let me know. But that's all I have for this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.